In the middle of the Arafura Sea, the Australian Navy is playing war games, rehearsing for real-life combat conditions. It's the start of Exercise Kakadu, the Navy's largest maritime operation. And reporter Zara Ratu was aboard HMAS Sydney.
Setting sail on the high seas, HMAS Sydney is prepared for battle. She's leading a Japanese destroyer and a Pakistani Nazar out to sea. The three will work together to combat a series of simulated attacks from surrounding ships and aircraft over the next 2 weeks. It's day one and we're heading off to the exclusion zone. An hour out to sea, the piercing sound of gunfire is already ringing out over the ship. The mock war games are underway. The men and women on the front line aren't told when the attacks will happen, but must be prepared for anything.
We have our two weapons up here, so we're the first responders to any action incidents, so airstrike.
I'm looking out for other enemies, so other warships, some aircraft, F-18s, and just general merchant vessels in the area.
We are engaging.
What are they? Two Hawks? We were practicing being engaged by Hawk aircraft, and they're fairly quick aircraft. They pop up straight over the horizon. They're fairly hard to catch.
These planes simulate the movement of a missile, which we're told was successfully shot down. A number of military planes have been circling above us today, which we haven't been able to see, which means the team on board HMAS Sydney have been successful at deterring enemy aircraft.
We have a long-range air warfare capability, so today was all about detecting enemy aircraft as far away as possible and then protecting the units around us using our long-range surface-to-air missiles in exercise or mock engagements.
The B-2 Seahawk helicopters even joined in on the action with difficult practice landings while the ship was at full speed. But the missile launcher really stole the show. With 8 warships and 26 aircraft taking part from around the Asia-Pacific, the operation hopes to build closer ties with partnering nations by sharing technology and tactical skills, should the need ever arise to call on regional neighbours in times of conflict.
What we're trying to do is strengthen relationships and also learn how we all operate together and improve those skills. And one of the ways that we do that is obviously in scenario warfighting.
While for now they're only games, they're certainly as loud as the real thing and a test for the personnel who will spend the next 2 weeks manning the ship. Zara Ratu, 9 News.
It's day 2 of Exercise Kakadu, the Australian Navy's largest marine exercise, and the crew of HMAS Sydney are busier than ever. War games are underway, but it's not all about the weapons. As 9 News found out, there's plenty more to life at sea.
Let's send the ship to action station, please.
Deep below the deck of HMAS Sydney, the operation room is in lockdown. The ship is under attack.
Anti-ship missile attack are now imminent. Ship likely to sustain battle damage, therefore.
As part of Exercise Kakadu, it's essential to rehearse for the real possibility the ship will be hit. Yesterday on deck, the personnel successfully defended the Adelaide-class frigate. But day 2 and it's a different story. The men are now preparing for a missile strike which will hit. They'll then prepare an emergency response. The attackers caused a fire below deck and they have 7 minutes to respond. The first crew arrive within 60 seconds but are beaten back by the intense flames, mimicked by a smoke machine. It's the third response team that finally put it out, but there's a casualty who will be taken to the sick bay for treatment.
With every warfighting scenario, there's 2 components. One is to actually fight the war, which is outside of the ship, and the other component is damage control, which takes place internal to the ship.
As well as defending the ship, she also needs to be maintained. There's daily rituals.
Ceremony complete, sir. Hop, carry on!
As well as constant safety checks and cleaning. And it's a mammoth task. She's 4,000 tonnes and there's 140 metres of deck space. Commissioned in 1983, Sydney is the oldest of the warships involved in the operation, but she's a beauty. With 240 personnel on board for the exercise, there's no busier place at one time than the kitchen. And it's a fine dining experience. Head chef Lyndon Mooney won a Silver Platter Catering Award. A man of many skills, he's also the head of the ship's emergency team. Any fire, floods, toxic hazards, or even a Sunday roast, he's your man.
This Scally team works hard and puts out a really good product.
Exercise Kakadu runs until September 12. Zara Ratu, 9 News.